Today is the day that we finally start to get onto a project that many of you guys have been waiting for, and I am more than ready to get done. That would be our DN1 95 twin turbo 300ZX. Not only is it a super rare color, but it's also a rare chassis. And while it also has some less than favorable things, like that peanut butter gut, this thing has plenty of potential. We picked this Z up about a month ago for about $3,000, give or take a little. And it actually had a low compression engine. Compression was probably 20 PSI and all 6 cylinders below what it should be, and it smoked very badly out the exhaust. So today, our goal is to strip all this down, let's clean it up, let's get everything swapped over that we can, and let's get it converted as much back to factory as possible. This thing has all kinds of sensors, electronics, alarm system, just a bunch of stuff we really do not want in this thing whatsoever. It's just going to complicate anything, and also it's just a bunch of extra clutter that this car does not need. As much as I would love to get the engine and stuff in today, it's honestly not exactly practical. I have to take everything apart, pull it out, put it in this, and put it back together. It's a lot of work. I'm not exactly holding my breath on it, so I'd really just like this thing to get ready to where we can pull the engine. If not, we can get everything done, pull said engine, move our slick top, and get it where we can tackle this head on the next day, video, whatever, so we can actually get this drivetrain in. Maybe fire it up and drive it. It's a little crusty. Driver's side's nice. It's definitely significantly nicer than what the passengers usually are, and that's due to the power steering pump over here. What a shame. Enough of the talk. Let's see if we can either move this car or just go grab some tools and come out here, and let's get started on this Z. We went ahead and took the bumper off because it's just going to get in our way. This thing's literally on the ground, so we need all the room we can get. Although it doesn't really need it right now. I guess we'll just pull this out, give us a little bit more room to work with. Kind of like we don't really need to pull this out, but we're going to anyways. That's more like it. All kinds of more room. This connector's actually broke, so it was a pain in the butt to pull off. Maybe we'll start with this power steering line down here just so we can kind of clean up the bay and make it work for us a little bit better. Please don't leak. Please don't leak. Oh, starting to look like we can pull something else out. Yeah, buddy. Pull the snake out the pit. Yeah, that's a high dollar piece right there. Twin turbo AC stuff is ridiculously expensive, so we're scooping this for our slick top. I believe this is our wideband sensor or wideband gauge. I have no idea what this is. This appears to be some kind of gauge, something, sensor, whatever. If you don't know, now you do. This is a ground bolt. They have these weird, like tapered, almost like a tap, weird shaped threads. Put it where it goes. Okay, that's not bad. I was a little more worried about that than I should be. Oh, that dude's tough in there. I think it's time we go ahead and pull some of this garbage alarm system out of here. And honestly, there's really only one way I know how to do this, and that's it. Let's just chop this thing out. No one wants this. So if I had to guess, this is something for the boost. Yep, it's Gretty, so I think that's the boost controller. I'll just kind of put that out the way. It appears they drilled a hole down here in the firewall. Not too big of a fan of that, but we can always plug it up. Now this wire also appears to be coming out of there, and I think this was the exhaust gas temperature sensor. Although I didn't see anything in the car, I guess we can check it out because I don't really know what this car even has. It has an HKS boost controller. Maybe these are together? I don't know. You guys drop it in the comments below. This is old tech. I'm not too sure about it. I run the Gretty Profec, so I don't know really what all this is. There is a turbo timer on this, so is that what that is? Or is that what these are? I don't know. Let me know, especially if you know what that Gretty is up there. Currently, I'm thinking this wideband is what's coming out down here. I guess we can go ahead and pull that out. Not out, but get it out the way. So it appears they drilled a second hole down here in the footwell. What are you doing, people? Terrible spot. You don't want to hold that close to the ground with all that moisture. I've got no idea what this wire is, but it's going down here too. Man, they just went overboard with zip ties here. Yeah, don't be like this, guys. A couple's alright. Why do we need zip ties every 3 inches to hold everything together? I think this is something to do with the stock boost solenoid. No idea. It's coming off. We ain't gonna need that. That could be for the stock gauge now that I think about it. And I'm wondering if that box goes to this stock boost gauge right here. If so, I'll figure out a way to hook it up, tee it into something if that's what it is. If not, we'll chuck it. I'll do a little bit more research when we're done. I just really want to get any and all room that I can down here. This is absurd. So we just snip the wires down here at the source and we'll pull them through once we get to pulling everything off down here below the steering wheel. We did have this power wire coming through our fuse box. We just pulled it off. How do you put wire that, I guarantee you that's more than 10 amp wire on a 10 amp circuit just to power something? I mean, I guess if it's just a tap in, but I don't know. I've never seen something like that. I thought I was about to see something to teach me something, but I don't think this is something to, you know, be taught. So far it looks like we almost have all the junk out. I guess we need to take these HIDs out because they take up a whole lot of room that they definitely shouldn't. Looks like we have some advanced German technology here. I think now we're going to go ahead and start pulling some of the interior out, mainly so we can get access back here to both of these so we can see exactly where they go and how we can relay that to what we've already taken off. And we're going to take this panel off because odds are the alarm system's going to be down here and hooked up to the ignition. And we obviously have to take this off as well so we can pull our wideband gauge out. I think I know where I'm going to put this. I have a car in mind. Ooh, gross. Hopefully that's not what it looks like. Okay, what are we working with? I have to say that's probably gauge related. Let's just take this off now. Huh, I thought this was its own piece, like molded into the top piece, and it just bolted up like normal. That's neat, I guess. I wonder how crazy this wiring is. I think we should be able to, okay, yeah, we can unplug it. Wow. Holy foam. Oh, we managed to get it out in one piece. There's always a ton of wiring when it comes to these things, so I guess now we need to take this lower. No, this is the upper vent. Let's take this upper vent out and get a little bit more room to see what we're working with. Holy cow. I have never seen so many wires in a stinking car under here before. Gee whiz. Looks like I've got my work cut out for me today. Basically, we're just gonna yank anything that should not be here. Let's go get a razor blade so we can cut these gazillion zip ties that they got going on. Oh, it's so relieving freeing these up. How about we actually just yank all this out? Because no one wants to see me sit here and fight an absolute load of spaghetti, you know? That is all kinds of stuff officially removed and cleaned out. We should be as factory as possible. So here is some extra wiring harness that we found up here behind the A-pillar. Because yes, they had all kinds of stuff running up here, but none of it was hooked up. There's no gauges, it's literally just the connection. So who knows what that was all about. We have this braided wire that went to what I assume is a wideband or EGT sensor, probably EGT sensor. And then here is our alarm junk box. That was an absolute nightmare. The amount of zip ties that I had to cut, like I said previously, is unreal. We also got our wideband out all the way, our power wires and all that separated, so we're actually together and we have a full working unit. Now we should be able to put that on our drift car, because that is where I would like to put it. We do need some kind of wideband or tuning device on that car. Now let's go ahead and put all this back up because, well, there's an absolute mess down here. But yeah, just take a look at all these zip ties. Kid you not, I probably cut 25 zip ties underneath down here alone. Bruh. Now while we're almost all put back together, let's put on some finishing touches. What's next on our list now that the interior is done? Honestly, I think the main thing we have left to do is to clean all this grime up. And we can't do any of this unless we move the car up here where we can make it with the shop vac. Currently, I do not have enough extension cord to make it out here. So we actually need to fire up our daily grab the chain, and tow this to there. Now to do that about 20 more times to get it straight. Now we're all pulled up, got our shop vac out, plugged in and ready. Let's start to clean and revamp this whole Z and bring it back to factory fresh. I'm gonna have to say this cleaned up pretty nice. Yeah, we still got this whole big grease mess over here, and we've got some of this to kind of wipe down and shine up if we can. Hopefully if we have enough rags we can do so. But I think for right now, we got a little purple power mix. I believe it's diluted like 10 to 1 or something. So let's just mist it on here, let it soak a little bit, and we'll come back and wipe all this grease off. And then we'll rinse it after that. Yeah, you've never seen that frame rail before, have you? That thing is pristine compared to any time that I've seen it. Now, unfortunately, the worst part here about the cleaning train that we're on is this is my last towel. I just used the rest of my roll. I'm currently crap out of luck. But coming from the greasiest, dirtiest side over here versus the cleaner side, you can definitely see we're looking pretty good up here. I think next we probably need to take our wire brush over here. Need to knock down this rust, get it where we at least flake all the scale or shale off, and then we're going to hit it with a nice coat of some rust converter. While we wait on that to dry a little bit, since we cleaned it one last time, we're actually going to come over here and remove these fuel lines, because we honestly do not need these where we're going. We actually need to upgrade all these to Gates barricaded fuel hose so we can have some ethanol resistant fuel lines. So for now, let's just get rid of this eyesore. Now that we got the hard lines and soft lines off the fuel filter, we're actually going to pull this fuse box. We're going to flop it back so we can kind of get access down here and get room to clean it up. And we're going to try to spit shine this side kind of like we have over here, so we can try to bring some shine back to this side of the car. Now peel all this back and you can see how gross and dirty that is under there. Yeah, we want to fix that. Let's go ahead and hit this with a coat of rust converter. Looks like we have just enough to do this job. I'm actually going to hit it with the vacuum one more time. Do it. I'm really not going too crazy. I just kind of want to touch everything up here just so it at least has paint on it and is no longer just purely exposed. I think that's a decent enough first coat. Let's let that tack up and dry, and let's continue cleaning this side. Got both sides all freshened up, and honestly, I'm a little bummed. I've officially found why this car is a rebuild title, and it's been in a wreck. Who would have guessed? I guess I could have figured this out beforehand due to the lack of seam sealer, but you can actually see the welds themselves, and it appears this front structure or side has been replaced. This side looks good as OEM because we know that seam sealer gets wild from the factory. It's actually the next day, and unfortunately hurricane rain has made its way up to Indiana, and we're gonna have to call this quits. But that's not a bad thing because we actually finished everything we wanted to finish, with the exception of swapping out some of this hardware with normal hardware, bolting all this back up. But other than that, we're ready to drop an engine in this thing, and everything else is all finished up. Here's what the battery tray area came out to. I'm gonna try to find a color match green. They actually do sell it in the parts stores, and it's a good enough match for me. So hopefully we can get that in before we start dropping this drivetrain in. But for this exact second, we're gonna call it quits for this video. Now, as sad as I am that I can't start working on getting this engine stuff in today, I think due to the weather, any break that we get today after we get our video edited and finished up, we're actually going to come here and we're going to start tearing stuff out of this. We're actually going to leave everything intercooler related in here, and honestly probably the radiator itself, due to having another radiator, and I'm going to use stock intercoolers and stock piping, so I don't need any of this. I actually have what was in the car that we can reinstall. Other than that, we strictly have our power steering reservoir and our fuel hard lines and soft lines. That's literally no big deal. We'll just swap that from my car since we already replaced all of them lines and just make it quick and easy. But dang, does it stink when it rains when you had plans to get stuff done. Fingers crossed it doesn't stay here very long. It does say it's only supposed to be here today, so if that is true, I'll be very happy. We should be able to fire this thing up in the next couple of days, to be honest, especially if we have a new wiring harness where we don't have a miss or injector issue. I'm stoked. I'm still kind of really bummed about that damage we found. I mean, yeah, it's a rebuilt title, I knew that, but actually today we're going to pull the receipt book, which they've got a binder like this big. Not a binder, but it's a huge thing of, you know, this work that's been done. This thing weighs like 4 pounds. So we're going to read through this, see maybe if we see any like insurance stuff, or maybe just shop quotes or shop payments, I should say, so we kind of know what was done. If there's any kind of paperwork on it, we'll know. I'm just bummed because I feel like this is going to hinder the outcome of what I can get for the car, and honestly, if it comes down to the point where I can't get rid of it for that much, it's just going up for part out. I love this chassis color. I want to keep it on the road, but money talks. But we're going to wrap it up here, you guys. Happy with how everything came out yesterday. Let's just keep moving forward and let's keep getting some stuff done. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe down below, as it really helps out the channel, helps bump us up in algorithm, and helps our channel grow, and in turn better content for you guys. Thank you again, and until next time, peace.